This is your weekend market review for Friday, November 15th, 2024. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your weekend market review for Friday, November 15th, 2024. If you've been following the channel, congratulations. An absolute, just interesting week. We talked about chop for OPSEX, but then you actually closed down pretty strongly today on Friday, which we talked about. The hangover was coming. Now, next week will be interesting. You have NVDA earnings. You have a little bit of data, but we tend to slow down going into the holidays. However, do not be surprised by some pain. It looks like Gary Gensler, the SEC chairman's resigning. Noticing how the feds are actually pulling back their, they seem to be propping up the market in certain illiquid bank exit markets. I mean, it's interesting to see what happens here, because I think at this point it's like no holds bar, cut spending, try to cut taxes if they can. We'll see. We will see. So anyway, just be careful out there. Again, I think the risk reward is not to the upside near term, especially considering I know we're in a recession. It's just, again, the data has been absolutely manipulated, which, again, that's the nature of the beast. So just be careful out there. Long term, typically the markets go up. However, do not be surprised by sharp pullbacks potentially in the near term, especially going into the end of the year. If you get some pulling back, people will start to take even more profits. So if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room, link in the description below. If you need help, check out the Calendly link in the description. If you need to chat about the markets, real estate, help with buying, selling, investing in real estate, do not hesitate to reach out. I know a lot of people have used us and we've given great advice and helped put people in touch with great agents all over the country. Again, it's not always easy. Remember, with the new NAR rules, it's not as easy as it used to be. You used to be able to go check out basically any house. However, now if you want to go check out a house, you have to work with an agent. Those are the new NAR rules up front, and you have to sign basically a commission agreement. Now, again, the commission agreement will be for one day, but in general, it's not the same. Again, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, drop in trades, thoughts, ideas, all over the place. If you need help, education videos on my YouTube channel or on my website. If you'd like to donate, hit the thanks button. I really appreciate it. Again, in a risk reward game, probability based game, if anyone's telling you certainty, you got to be careful. You have to be careful. Now, again, just be the best you can be, and on time you will do fine. Because again, we want you to make some profits to turn them into properties and passive income. Love to help out. Tons of stuff. It's about time to get the 2025 Almanac. Keep that in mind. So again, let's dig into it. We have a Fed meeting coming up December 18th. What's a month away? I just tend to breathe this. Again, it's 50-50 whether they're going to do a cut. Here's the thing. They're in a pickle. If they start cutting rates, inflation goes up. They cut spending, inflation should come down. Again, it's the natural order of things. It's like, do you really want to play that game? Because right now, I think a lot of people don't recognize that again, if you really want to kill inflation, you're gonna have to slow the economy. And that's the thing. Like, you can't really do it without doing such. And we tell people this all the time. Be careful. Bitcoin, we talked about chopping at the point 1.6818 extension. Next upside is 99,000 approximately. If you are trading this stuff, please manage your positions. Do not just let it always ride, because there are pullbacks. There are times where you go into choppy cycles. Near term, again, I think the upside risk is reducing. So be careful. Don't chase it. Please, for the love of God. Oil, we talked about this a bunch. Again, downside is potentially coming more if markets pull back. Demand destruction is real. Geopolitical risk has been holding it up. So we'll see what happens here. Natural gas, we like it long term, but I'm waiting for the pullback. We've talked about this. Pretty simple. Keep it simple, stupid kind of stuff. Because again, I struggle with trying to explain to you, like, yes, if the market pulls back, they throw the baby out with the bathwaters. So just keep that in mind. Dollar has been on a tear. King dollar, Trump daddy, whatever you want to call it. So just keep that in mind. TLT bonds, we talked about this. Can't trust bonds. You cannot trust bonds. Holding the 90 area, we talked about retest. This is make or break. Keep it simple, stupid. Because again, if rates go higher, housing is already tenuous. Just keep that in mind. Just be careful. How about the dollar? VIX, we talked about the VIX at levels that made sense to start snapping up. Again, you had the biggest pullback post-election. Talked about a little bit of a hangover at some point. This week you got it. VIVIX. We always talk about the VIVIX bottoms first. Well, it did. Nice little spike here today, but kind of gave it up near the close. However, just again, you got some of the pullback that we were anticipating. SPY. Here we go, right? Talked about the pullback. I mean, 5 red days. Now we held the 20-day. We're holding here at like the 585. Keep an eye on it. Okay. You know what I mean. Just do yourself a favor. Be careful. QQQ, as we've talked about, the laggard. Look at these big pro gaps. I mean, you saw the same with the SPY, but look. Coming off the highs. I mean, if this is coming off the lows, you'd go cool. Keep in mind, last time you saw a big gap off. This gap was, I mean, again, we'll see. We shall see. I mean, NVIDIA's earnings are next week, and I am genuinely scared. I have no clue what they're going to be. Because, again, if they're cooking the books like SMCI, and this is Enron type of stuff, oh, my God. As we said, the semis are the best short, in my opinion, long term, but you could see gas on the fire. Look at the IWM, right? Look at this. I mean, that's a breakout, pulling back. I mean, you think you'd follow through. Not so much. Not so much. DIA. We'll see again, because these could all be just pullbacks, or this could be the start of something extremely painful. And again, either way, that's why we talk about the more you're up, the less you own. If you see a certified bounce coming, you see the levels hold, you can add back. It's not rocket science. It's called trading, not holding. Gold. Tried to warn gold bugs. Said do not chase. Now we're, I don't know. Again, I personally I'm laying off this stuff. Again, I mean, I want to see massive pain. Silver, 100-day. GDX, as we talked about, miners can get absolutely throttled, curb stomped, kicked in the teeth. I mean, they lead the metals. Look at the I mean, already back at the 200-day. 44 to 35. I try to warn people, like, you have to be careful with this stuff. It is incredibly leveraged. And if it leads down, be careful. GDXJ, again, the junior miners, right? The junior highly leveraged names. Zing pow. AEM. Talk about people buying puts on this. Made sense. Looking good. AG. Breaks the downtrend. Comes back to it. I mean, this is pretty wild action. I know it's good for shaking out. Newmont. Same thing. This shouldn't be at like the 70s. It's at 40. I don't know how much the downside risk is near term, but man, I'd beat the shit out of this. I will have no problem with that. Pass. Again, head and shoulders, bottom, top, whatever you want to call it. I mean, so many looking patterns. I mean, these are just choppy. Just 10 cuidado. Taiwan Semi again. Chips, my favorite short. Look at this blow off top. Look at this lower high. Now you're making lower lows. As the market held up all week, making new highs. What are the Qs are up here? Semis are down here. Scary. Micron, right? Tries to get to the 1-teens. Low one, I don't know. Yikes. New lows. AMD. Oh, everyone's bullish. Oh, new lows. Now, again, I'm not trying to troll anybody. We've talked about this. Like, the highs were in. Chips become a glut. They become almost like a commodity, and they overproduce. NVIDIA earnings next Wednesday. Said riding the channel high. I mean, probably get a pullback into earnings, but then, I mean, the earnings themselves, I have no clue what they're going to be. I mean, everyone's anticipating strong. So if you see pullback into earnings, somebody knows something. SMCI, we talked about this. I mean, this is a freaking, it's crazy to think. This thing, if this is an Enron type of situation, oh my God. Intellectual property, right? Here you go. This is a nice dead stock. I mean, I don't know. You get over the channel. We talked about this. Just, bleh. Okay, now it's building its next little wave up to go down. I don't know. 100-day is key. Watching the channel lows of the 50-day. I mean, to me, if you bought it at the lows, I mean, again, you can credit where credit's due. It's working, but I just struggle with it. SMH talked about this. Here you go. Here you go. A little double top. A little double top. I mean, all week. Red. We'll see. Adobe. Man, this thing is wild. Up 25, down 25, up 20. We talked about moving averages. Congrats. Apple, we had some call action this morning we saw in the market. Hits the 20-day, doink. Still, I mean, look at it, just riding and hugging the 100-day. Amazon, Bezos sells all of his stock. Congrats at the highs. What a fucking genius. I don't know. You got Prime days and all sorts of stuff. Black Prime, Optimus Prime. I don't know. We'll see. Meta. I mean, look at this thing, right? We talk about tech lagging. Oopsies. Broke the lows. CRM, sweet. Maybe some names have been up. We'll give it credit, like CRM on fire. I said, watch. It felt like a little blow off. This is why we talk about the more you're up, the less you own. You've seen this a million times if you trade. Look at Google. Can't even fill the gap. Giving it up. Microsoft. Keeping on it, right? Nothing. Lagging, chopping. NDAQ. Again, I think this is the future, easiest short out there, long term. Keeping on. Again, I don't think people are going to be trading the Nasdaq exchange when tech stocks are not so hot. People are like, when are they not hot? I'm like, oh, you don't remember when they weren't hot? I remember when it was a joke when people say they own Microsoft. MicroStrategy. Talk about it just kind of blowing off. I mean, this is one I struggle with because, again, if Bitcoin's going to 98 or 99,000, then we probably should see a 400 handle. If it doesn't, at worst, it's going to consolidate. I would just be careful. Netflix has been, again, a name that I just like, why are we buying this thing? Feels like sometimes we talk about when you break out of a channel at the highs or the lows, it's actually an extreme range flip. Especially like if you've been channeling, like look at this. If you've been channeling up, right? Like go back from the start. The strong up move. Okay. Well, now you had a strong up channel. You break out of it. Is this the trap? Leave a comment below if you know what I'm talking about. Because again, I've talked about this before. Where at the extremes, you get like power moves. And then it's like, exhaustion. Roblox. Not much to say there. Pan W. Uh-oh. Again, is this a fake out? This is what would kill the bulls. Absolutely just, ooh. Man, I don't know what to say here. Again, these names, I think I like Pan W long term, but this is why I don't chase if I think the market's pulling back. Because I've seen this happen before where everything looks great. Trump wins, everything's great, everything's awesome. Boom, pull back. Tesla, we talked about it blowing out. Again, take profits. It looks like SpaceX is going to go public. I wonder if that was already priced into the stock. That's a question I'd ask myself. I don't know. Insight, we talked about this being a buyout target if you bought this at lower prices. Keep an eye on it. I mean, again, it's not going to go up straight line. I honestly would love to see this pull back and buy in the dip. Palantir, I don't know what they say. It's like a $80 billion company with less than $1 billion in rev. Step in front of this monster, get your head ripped off. I'm not going to. It looked like a double top this morning. But we also said it was an inflection point right here around 63. Whoop, oops, went higher. Again, no position, just watching. Because again, it does make sense to short, but it also is not being friendly to short. So if I'm looking at it, I'm kind of being very patient and picking my spots. If you stop out, you stop out. McDonald's, chopping around. Man, looked like it was going to break the low, held. DKNG, told you guys, I feel like this is just a bullshit trap. I mean, again, every Trump daddy trap. It's like they can't sell it fast enough. So we'll see what happens. Airbnb, gap down on earnings. We talked about that. Watch the 100-day. Costco, right? Chop. Channeling up. Again, here's an example of breaking out of the channel and giving it up. Again, we better hold the 100-day in the range of lows. Starbucks, we've talked about this one going nowhere fast, just in a big chop range. It feels like it wants to break out, but then it just doesn't. We'll see. Again, new CEO, all sorts of fun stuff. But in my opinion, personally, they kitchen sink the corner with that green candle and that green arrow. So it's just probably going to chop around. Again, especially if the economy is weakening. I mean, do you expect coffee sales to blow out up? No. FedEx, again, we like this short. It broke the channel. This one's a toughie. But you see something here. Seen it. So I'd be watching. Gap fill, maybe, or just a lower high. Again, we talk about sometimes you don't fill gaps in downtrends. Just like in uptrends, you don't fill all gaps. Right? Like if this is a downtrend, are we actually going to fill this gap anytime soon? Probably not. Caterpillar, 50-day. Deere, keeping an eye on that one, seems to be making lower lows, lower highs. Nucor, again, we like steel, we like this stuff, but giving it all back. X, I feel like Trump is not going to be cool with, that's what I think the market is. This is why we talked about this thing. It's a big consolidation pattern, in my opinion. Knowing such, I'm not sitting here going, well, it's time to go long or go short. I'm waiting for it to get extreme. I mean, if you traded the extreme at 26 up to 44, damn good move. Valley, again, a global growth name. Should be on fire. On fire. No. It's in the ground, burning. Arrow, again, we like junior copper. Let it all pull back. I mean, I don't want to pick the bottoms. CCJ actually holding up pretty damn well. Uranium, but again, if you haven't seen VIX 60 plus, you haven't lived. You haven't lived, my friend. CF leading up, chopping around compared to some of the other Mosaic NTR names. Again, I like ag. I just let it pull back. Aaron had a nice day today. Did it have a great day? I mean, but again, when you zoom out, you see there's a lot of upside. I can't chase names. I don't want to swim against the tide. XLF holding up pretty damn well. Credit where credit's due. Again, banks hold all the risk. Seem to be impervious to it. We'll see how long that lasts. JP Morgan chopping around. I mean, you have a lot of references on some of these stocks. Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, right? I mean, Buffett sell. Goldman Sachs holding up pretty well. KRE. Again, we talked about these, like, this feels like a blow off. Just keep an eye on it. XBI, we talk about biotechs. Look at that shit. Oh my God. Again, here's what we call a fake out. Oh, we're going to Jets. Penny and the Jets, not the Eagles holding up. Jets holding up pretty well though here. Again, I personally don't trust that at all. XHB, again, we talked about housing. Ooh, talked about that 50-day pop. You got it. Watch that 100-day. The 100-day breaks. You can say arrivederci, sayonara, adios, later, amigo. Solar, again, Trump's cutting subsidies. We've talked about this, Sedge. I mean, I thought 300 to 15 was a pretty good guess of mine, right? Talked about this piece of crap. $10. I mean, maybe it's going to zero. ENPH, because maybe some of these companies literally, that's all their businesses, credits. And that's me like trying not to throw up. For solar, look at that wick. And these things look just terrible. Like Charles Barkley would say. Corporate debt, again, you've got to be high out of your mind. That's all I can say. Oil, we talked about, it's going to be sloppy, choppy. Keep an eye on it. UNG, again, I hate UNG. I'd rather play the KOLD. This thing decays. But I like the risk reward on shorting this decaying donkey. Again, 80, 90 level seems very safe. XOP, as we talked about, right? Like oil gas breakout, hits the 200-day. Consolidate, right? CVE, we like this stock long term, but it's in a big consolidation pattern. Does this make sense? Oops, sorry. There's a lot of names that look like this. Valero, chopping around. Again, gasoline names typically lead. They look like they've not been leading up, but hits 100-day, due for a bounce. I mean, not even bounce, but just like counter trend. 50-day, same. Exxon Mobil, I mean, this thing can't get. Like, it can't get over this 121 area. I mean, again, Occidental, I mean, we like this stock. I mean, Buffett's probably just sitting here like loving it. Big consolidation pattern. He's like, I don't care if you pull back. I'll sell more puts. Sell calls. EQT, congrats again. We talking about 44. You got it. But it's a big consolidation pattern. Last but not least, Flex LNG. Big consolidation pattern. I think we'll be natural gas exporters. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Always here to help. Love to get your feedback on whatever you're thinking. Like, heart, subscribe. If you want to leave a donation, that is really awesome. I'll give you a shout out if you want help with anything. What are you waiting for? Use the Calendly link. So we know going into next week, NHB, housing starts, some Walmart, you got some Baidu, and then you have NVDA earnings on Wednesday. NVIDIA earnings, I have no clue how that's going to go. No one does. And if someone tries to tell you that, hey, it's absolutely going to do something, run away. So let me know how I can help. See you guys in the Discord room. Have a great weekend. Peace out. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.